Hi, I'm Stephen Foskett from Foskets.net and Tech Field Day, and I'm here at the Storage Developer Conference in Santa Clara, California. I almost said San Diego, I don't know why. Gathered a bunch of friends here to talk about storage and the things that are coming out of this conference. So why don't you introduce yourself?
Robert Novak, Gallifreyan on Twitter.
Scott Lowe, other Scott Lowe on Twitter.
Jeff Darcy, Abduradon on Twitter.
Robin Harris, StorageMojo.com, ZDNet, Storage Bits, and IBM Storage Community, and Storage Mojo on Twitter.
Okay, you
Excellent.
win.
Oh, we
You
got
win.
it.
You got us all. Okay. All right. So here we are, third day Storage Developer Conference. Right off the bat, who saw something interesting in the last 24 hours that they want to talk about? Scott did.
I did. You know what? It was the Plug Fest, actually.
Yeah.
That was really cool. We got to go down and got to see these companies that publicly do stupid things to each other actually cooperating with one another.
Oh, you mean marketing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to try to make their products better. And it was kind of interesting. I mean, they're all under NDA. So they can say, well, we just found a bug that would wreck all your customers if it was exploited. And they actually help each other fix these sorts of things. And I thought that was the spirit of cooperation that we saw in the room was pretty interesting. And we saw some interesting companies, Codenomics.
Yep.
Apparently a company to fear if you're in the storage industry.
They're causing some havoc down there, from what I've heard.
But
Yeah.
havoc in a good way.
Well, they're causing
better
havoc.
here than.
Yeah, because what they do, basically, my understanding is that they're doing fuzz testing, where
Yes.
they'll take the protocol and they'll just do things around there that are maybe not entirely legal to see
Right.
what happens. And that's really good.
It is, because the hackers don't follow the rules. They're going to look at the spec and find the ways in, not to follow the spec.
Yeah.
So from a security perspective, what they're doing is incredible, and it seems like they've got a pretty good base. And they were talking about they humble a lot of the engineers in the room pretty quickly.
Our software always validates its inputs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it was,
right.
but again, seeing the level of cooperation and the number of the vendors in the room. I mean, Apple's sitting there, and they're not known for a lot of their cooperation these days with others, but they're there with all the rest, trying to make SMB3 work the best it possibly can.
Yeah, they've got 25 vendors or so in there who are all, playing against each other, and it really helps those of us who are end users of the products.
Yeah. Yeah, that's ultimately, this is great for the consumer. And it's good for the companies too, obviously, but the people buying the equipment, you get more assurance that it's going to actually interoperate.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's becoming more secure and more correct, slowly, over time.
Yeah.
And there's an interesting angle that's happening too, where you've got companies like the Samba team and Apple and Isilon EMC
Yeah.
and NetApp and working with SMB3, and they're kind of deciding what SMB3 is really going to be when it grows up.
Yeah.
Because as we said on Monday, it's not going to be all these things that Microsoft wants it to be.
Right.
And basically they're all going to figure out which areas they're going to support and how they're going to support it and how it's really going to be in real life, not just in the spec.
Right.
And that's what's happening downstairs.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. And again, it's going to be a pretty interesting uptake on SMB3, I think.
And it's what's happening next door, too, with the Cloud Fest.
Yeah.
So
you know more about that?
I know hardly anything about what's been going on over there. I keep meaning to walk over.
Well, they
but-
told us we couldn't go into that one, but we could go into the other one.
Okay.
So
It's cloudy.
yeah, it's hard to
Did
see.
you
in
what
there.
are they
bring your
trying to
bucket of
hide?
magic dust?
Yeah, that's right. That's pretty much what cloud means. Oh,
What are
we'll
they
just
trying
put
to
some
hide?
cloud
What are
with
they
that.
trying to hide? What is it the cloud pluggers don't want us to know?
Let's go in there.
Yeah.
Let's take them down.
Let's crash. Let's
Yeah,
crash the party.
Let's cloud burst, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
All
We should
right.
get some gang signs
Hey,
tattooed on us.
lightning.
What is a
thunder.
storage
You
gang
first.
sign? I don't know. I don't know. We're just not.
I would say
It's-
this.
Yeah, there we go. This is the official storage gang sign. Welcome to storage. Yes. All right. So what else? Any of the presentations you guys go to? I saw you in all the presentations, man.
Yeah, I was going to presentations. The SSI presentation, which is
You mean the SSSI, PCIe,
SSD
SSD round?
EQI,
SCM.
Yes,
You know.
acronym overload.
POQ or QOP.
Right. No, that was, I have a lot of hopes that we're going to figure out a way to use solid-state storage without all the overhead that we currently have to going out to disks.
Yeah.
So, and that's what a lot of other people are hoping, and that's what they're working on. And it looks like, the wheels are turning. And, clearly people like Fusion.io see major commercial opportunity there. And Virident just raised another $26 million, or they announced
Good for
it.
them.
And got a new
Congratulations
CEO.
on
Yeah.
your new money.
Yes, and so anyway, I was pleased to see all that. I think it's clear that there's too many choices, and some of them are going to fall by the wayside, probably most of them. But hey, let 1,000 flowers bloom, and 998 of them wilt.
That's what happens,
Yeah,
It's evolution.
let the market decide, or the marketer. Well, not the marketers, but yeah,
The
somebody will
marketers.
decide.
Yeah.
And there was this morning's talk about shingled discs.
Exactly. I was
Yeah.
hoping you'd bring that up.
Sounds like a very painful condition.
Yes.
But it's actually a really
my
cool
shingled discs are really bothering me today.
Yeah, it's herpes, right? Shingles.
Really acts up
singles
when
is
you got
You
sap.
had to go there.
Well, it is
check
herpes
boxes.
virus.
Yeah, when you add stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I still gotta say, I don't get how shingled disks work. I gotta do more, because when you overwrite half your data, why does it still work?
Because the other half is still there.
When you overwrite half of your data,
You can still read the other half.
yeah, but what about
I
the
mean, that
stuff you
sounds
just
flippant, but
overwrote?
it's actually kind of how it works.
Okay.
So shingled discs. What do you think?
I think it's a really interesting technology for increasing disk capacity, regardless. He talked about hammer and pattern media and so forth, but this is kind of orthogonal to those. But it is going to present some really interesting challenges to designing file systems to work well with that. Because you effectively have to read and write very large chunks. You really want to do it sequentially. Random updates are really, really, really going to hurt. So it kind of has all of the erase block issues that we just learned to deal with SSDs, plus you still have rotational and seek latency, so you've got those problems too. So that makes things like extra challenging. So all the file system developers, Chris Mason yesterday actually pretty much said, no. So, and I think that's kind of what a lot of the file system developers wish they could say, but I don't think they really can.
So what happens then?
Well, somebody who decided that they were going to say yes comes up with a file system that actually works well with this and pushes it, and then people start using it, and technology advances.
So who's going to lead us into that?
I have no idea.
What are the storage vendors?
Is it going to be IBM? Is it
The
going
storage
to be?
vendors will be the last ones to lead us into.
Oh, for the file system piece.
It'll be, well, no, not even the file system piece, but the disk drive vendors probably have the most wretched marketing in all of high technology, and so they won't.
Robin Harris, gentlemen. I didn't say it.
Yeah, but you heard it here first. But no, they wait until they get the order for 10 million drives before they will do anything. And they're not willing to go out and be take a few risks in the marketplace. I heard that Seagate, for example, who a couple of years ago got into the external drive market, it was a huge fight internally to get into the external drive market, and now it's like the fastest growing and highest margin piece of their business. Now, how could marketing people be so blind as to not realize that was going to be the case?
And now you've got Hitachi, Western Digital in there too.
Right.
and
Yeah.
you've got-
They're all doing it, and they should be, right? Because we want them to be making more money than they are just selling raw drives to EMC and stuff.
Are you saying that the marketing people are making product decisions?
Yeah, evidently, right? Yeah, it's scary. So anyway, but I talked to Garth after his talk, and his take was it would really it would be up to the array vendors to really figure out how to make shingled disks work, but they're not going to do it unless they have two sources of supply, right? You've got to have, and that's what's killed, self-encrypting disks, for example, right? You can only get them from Seagate. So anyway, I think the disk drive guys will screw it up. There's an excellent chance. But I mean, wouldn't it work well with a log structured file system? I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
you know,
Wouldn't it be
and
great
that's
if
pretty
Pure
much the only way
Storage
to do
could
it.
use Flash and they could? Oh wait, they aren't interested in shingled disks.
No, yeah, that would be wrong. Anyway, but I think the disk drive vendors will screw it up. It's yet another opportunity to find a new market for disks, and they'll muff it.
On that positive note, anybody else have anything to say?
Speaking of Pure Storage, friends of the show, I was in their presentation yesterday
John
about.
Hayes. Yep.
That was pretty good. I've seen the big picture of their array layout, but this sort of zoomed in on how to optimize the use of the SSD.
Yeah,
And
and,
how
the
to make-
interesting thing that they're doing is that they're using consumer grade SSDs, and
Yeah.
so they have, and they're not, I mean, you've got a lot of these, the startups that have just announced, that they're trying to hit the SSDs on a lower level and try to avoid, make an end run around the controller. They're not doing that. They're saying, this is what we got.
Yeah.
Let's figure out how to work with this controller.
They put some expensive stuff in front of it, but in very small volume compared to what they're doing with the full rack.
Yep.
So that was a cool presentation.
Well, I still don't get their business model. I mean,
What's wrong with it? Sell some storage arrays.
yeah,
There.
hey, yeah,
Done.
Yeah.
right. No, that's a wonderful idea. That part.
It seems to work for other companies.
Yeah. Well, it's just that commercial SSDs just. I don't see how they save that much money going with commercial SSDs. And I know their argument about volume and blah 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 blah. But they've raised a hell of a lot of money. I think it's on the order of $70 million, right?
And a lot of it came from Samsung.
And a lot of it
And
came.
which SSDs did they use?
No. Do they use Samsung?
Absolutely.
SSDs? Oh my God.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Interesting.
yeah, and so that's a lot of money to just engineer basically a rate controller.
But it's a array controller that does a lot.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
that's actually a good point because they've got a lot more in there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm wondering.
And it's fast.
I'm wondering if there's some secret business going on here where they're pretending to build a flash array on consumer SSDs, but what they're really doing is building a whole storage layer because they're doing way more than they need to do
Yeah.
to ship an array.
okay, give me an example. Okay, sorry.
Maybe they're
I look
actually
technical to you. What?
they're actually working on the next Mars rover.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's what it is.
there we go.
No, I'm just thinking that if they're going to do like Nutanix we saw, I mean they ship this virtualization all in one appliance. That's not really what they're doing. They're doing a full, virtual machine and storage management. They're going to have scale out to the cloud. They're going to have all these things in the future that don't involve that box with the Fusion I/O card and the SSD and the disk drives and the CPUs and all that. And I think that Pure Storage might be doing the same thing. They might be building a storage platform. I mean, think of what Falcon Store could have been, or what IBM SVC could have
wow, I
been.
remember
That's
them.
kind of what Pure Storage is building. And I think that maybe, the 2.0 or 3.0 or 4.0 version might not look at all like a little storage array that they're selling now. I mean, right now, what are they doing? They're selling a storage array. But I guess you got to start somewhere.
Well, yeah, and there's a market for what they're selling right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it might not be a huge market, but
Yeah.
massive analytics and things like that need the kind of
Because I agree
power
with you. They have
that
way
they're-
too big
their
brains,
booster stage.
and they're doing way too much work to be lashing together some Samsung SSDs in a box.
Yeah.
But are they doing well? I mean, one of the things that they've said is that they want to be a long-term player in this space. That's their goal. They're not going to get there. I mean, they're not looking to necessarily be acquired, although I'm sure with the right amount of money would happen. But they want to be a long-term player, and they got to have a platform that's going to be able to last with them for the long term. So they can't just build enough for now. They got to build it for the future, so they can continue to add on to it.
Otherwise, you end up in the situation of some of the big name
Exactly.
players that in storage who
That
are
are-
now spending the better part of a decade, to re-engineer their systems to support
New
Flash
needs, yeah.
or to
I mean,
support
Flash
clustering.
or Pure,
Or single discs.
Or the cloud.
Yes, the cloud.
and Pure is building a platform for the future, theoretically.
So who else? What else was interesting to you?
I should be in marketing, shouldn't I?
You should. You totally should. Robin can help you with that.
Yeah, I've got a Marketing Made Simple course. It's web-based. You'll love it. Yeah, it's perfect. Well, actually, I haven't gone to the presentation yet, but Microsoft is doing presentation this afternoon on erasure codes that they have invented. And I'm really interested in erasure codes in general and new stuff specifically. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Erasure codes are something everybody in storage should be on top of at this point.
Absolutely.
Actually, I have like a remedial erasure code video that I've made that I haven't even published yet. Should I do that?
You really should.
You should.
I've got some of their songs in my iTunes library.
Yeah, erasure. Yeah, Chains of Love. I mean, I love that one.
Yeah, River Deep, Mountain High.
Exactly.
Chain of Fools.
Yep.
That could be a
Aretha.
storage theme song, River Deep, Mountain High.
Yeah,
I thought Chain of Fools
Microsoft
was-
erasure code.
Yeah, I did an erasure code video.
Did you?
Yeah, it's up on Storage Mojo. Search on Amplidata. I did it for Amplidata,
Yeah.
but it's a nice erasure code video.
I appreciate that. Maybe I'll watch yours and steal your ideas and put it in mine.
Sure.
Okay, I got permission. Very good.
Yeah, there you go.
And it's on video, so it's really sort of
Exactly.
documented.
It's
Yeah.
that's as
Yeah.
good as a contract, as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely, no. Steal
Admissible in
away.
court.
So yeah, Microsoft is. It's interesting that so erasure codes. They also have the data deduplication. Did you guys learn more about the dedupe built into NTFS? All that.
I saw a little bit of it yesterday.
I
They
think
were
that-
talking about it being there, but not in ReFS.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. The coolest thing about the dedupe that Microsoft has is that they actually invented it themselves. It's not somebody's thing that they lash in there, and it's really high tech stuff. If you look at it, it's variable block size. I mean, it's doing the things that kind of the second or third generation dedupe products do right off the bat, and that's pretty cool. It's also integrated with BranchCache, which is really neat. So you can actually do dedupe over the WAN.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
It is. And speaking of BranchCache, another thing that I had a great conversation with was the Samba team doing BranchCache.
Are they really?
Oh,
Oh, Chris is all over that.
He is.
that makes sense with the expansion into more of Active Directory.
And they're doing Active Directory too.
Yep.
Okay, so what is BranchCache for those of us who came in late?
It's neat. It's kind of like
It's
imagine it's like BitTorrent. Okay, so imagine you're trying to get a file off the corporate file server, but you're in the Topeka office, and I already got that file. Transparently, your machine is going to say, "Hey, does anybody have these blocks here?" And I'm going to say, "Oh yeah, I got those," and I'll hand them to you. And those can be deduped. And if the file is changed, I'll give you the ones that haven't changed, and then you'll get the rest of them from the corporate file server. Very neat stuff.
And it doesn't require a lot of hardware. I mean, it
It's
could
in
be a
Vista.
Windows 7 or Windows 8
Yep.
system.
And from a security perspective, what could go wrong? No, I'm sure Microsoft ever
I think
on
Microsoft's
top.
on top of that.
You think they are?
They're pretty good about handling.
Actually, there is cryptographic signing of those blocks.
Oh, okay.
So there's some protections that are built into it. The underlying protocol is actually called Pure and Chris and I have actually looked into that a little bit to see if we can collaborate on some stuff. And it's I can't say I've done a thorough security analysis of it, but they are certainly aware of the issue.
Okay.
They
I-
consider
I-
that.
I- yeah.
And
Okay,
also
I feel
considering that it's more kind of LAN side and corporate side,
Yeah.
it's not something it's not like BitTorrent in that you're asking the whole internet. You're just
Yeah.
asking people on your LAN. who
It's
are
more like having a
probably trusted.
CDN for your internal
Yeah.
file server.
Yeah, it is a lot like a CDN.
In some ways, it has a PNFS-like kind of behavior too, because you're going to the server, instead of asking and getting data back, you're asking and getting hashes back, and then you look up those hashes where you are.
Yeah.
So a lot of the same trickery that you use in PNFS world, or the similar thing that's evolving in SMB, you would actually use in this context as well.
Okay.
Yeah, the Samba team's really excited. I mean, they I've had the best conversations at SDC myself with the Samba guys, and it's so cool because they're not, beholden to some corporate master, and they're really interested in doing stuff. Let's make things that work. Excellent. Let's
Yeah.
get to that.
It seems like they just really got a big shot of, I don't know, caffeine or adrenaline
Yeah,
or something.
Yeah, because
Everybody's
you haven't
hoping,
heard a
yeah.
lot from Saba in the last few years, and all of
Right.
a sudden it's everywhere again.
Kaboom.
Yep.
So when is the ButterFS presentation? Is that right now?
I think I think it's today. I don't know. I really wanted to
Yeah.
go see that. Yeah.
It is today, but I don't think it's right now.
Is it?
I
Yeah.
think it's the first one in the second set this afternoon.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah. I'd like to make that, but I think it's at the same time as the erasure code. So.
Yeah, well, there's two erasure code ones back to back, definitely conflicts with one of them.
Well, actually, I heard good news from the SNIA people that they are going to be posting the presentations and the videos of the ones that are videoed online. So we will at least be able to see the presentation deck. Now, I did hear that it
those
might
are
be
already out,
those might not be visible to the people on the other side of the camera.
Sorry.
Because they hold those off until the people who actually come to the event
Who actually paid or
get to
at
see
least
it.
came.
Yeah.
It's like 3 months later,
But
they're available
at
to the
some
public,
point,
give or
the
take.
videos and the presentations are going to be online. So that's great.
And on a lot of them, not necessarily the video, but a lot of the presentations, you can find similar material that's been presented elsewhere if you can't get into the site here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Microsoft has a lot of their stuff online already. Presentations of a similar nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, two of the presentations, were already done at FAST. They invited the best papers from that, so those are already out there.
So that's good news. So what you're looking, better FS. I want to see that. Anybody else want to see? Looking forward to something special?
Mostly it's the two erasure code ones.
Okay.
Definitely want to keep up with what's going on in that space.
Here's my thoughts on Hyper-V over SMB. I wrote a blog post for Wikibon last night.
You did? Has it been published?
It's been published.
Excellent. So we were talking about that on Monday.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there'll be one about the Plug Fest going up sometime this week at Tech Republic.
Great.
Well, staying busy, huh?
Yeah,
Good. So what do you guys think of this place? Would you come back next year?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been coming to SDC for 5 years now. So
There you
I
go.
would absolutely come back. This has been great.
it's
Definitely.
I love it. I feel like they invented a conference targeted at things I'm interested in.
Actually, I think that was what they tried to do.
You think it was? You think
Yeah.
You
Well,
want
I
to
saw the
be
list.
the ideal.
It said Foskett wants.
I
And
like
they put
that.
check
Would
marks
he
on
want
all
to
the
watch
boxes.
this? Yes, no?
Yeah. Because I would like to see all these things. So.
Yeah.
But next year, I actually have a proposal. The Fibre Channel over Token Ring protocol was really given real short, not much attention at this year's SDC, and I think that we can. I think we can do better. I brought my Token Ring card, and I couldn't even find the Plugfest room.
I think if you had a controversy, so if it was Fibre Channel over Token Ring versus Fibre Channel over Token Bus,
Well, that might just be two of us. I was thinking of Fibre Channel over
Cage
Token Ring
match.
versus Fibre Channel over Ethernet, but I figured that would just be a slam dunk in favor of Token Ring. So we have to invent something more.
What about Fibre Channel over ArcNet?
Maybe.
Because
Don't
that's
take
so
care of
much
your
easier to cable out.
Power lines, for home.
You ruin all my fun.
Home PNA. There we go.
well, we don't have to invent Token Bus. It actually existed.
Fiber channel over Wi-Fi.
There you go.
I have a Fibre Channel over Wi-Fi button because the most important thing when coming up with a new protocol is
Marketing.
whether you've got a button and a logo.
That's right.
I mean,
Well, that's what really validates the whole
That's
thing.
why Fiddy failed.
And a bumper sticker.
yeah, right here on my backpack is Fibre Channel over Wi-Fi.
Token
So
Ring.
we got that covered.
Token Ring. Can we zoom in on Steven's Token Ring?
Come on, zoom
Card
in,
bus,
zoom
card.
in.
Yeah, here, I'll just hold it up in front of Jeff here.
All right, ready? Okay.
Wait a minute, why
And
does that say
actually-
NDA only?
Yeah.
The connectors for the dongle look a little bit like NVM Express.
There we go.
We'll just say that it's compatible.
Okay.
We got it
Thank you.
covered.
Thank you, Storage
Thank you.
Mistress. Yeah.
Yes, and actually, this is it. This is our last video from SDC. So thank you guys for coming and joining me on these videos this afternoon.
It's been great. We've had a great time.
Yeah.
And
At least I have. I don't know about these guys.
yeah, I'm looking forward to coming back for SDC again next year. Hopefully, you guys will be here with me.
So are we going to go out on the drunk tonight, or what?
La la la.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll be back
and
here with
thank
you.
behind the camera. If
Thank
only
you.
you guys at home could see what we see.
Yes. You would be so envious.
All right. Well, that's it from me, Stephen Foskett, here at SDC. Again, thank you, Robert, Scott, Jeff,
Sayonara.
and whoever this guy is. And and that's it. Goodbye. Anybody know any other languages? Nope.
Auf Wiedersehen.